Okay, welcome to this full moon session where we're going to once again understand what the stars have for us, and then have a meditation together. So today we have a full moon in Gemini, which happened this morning at 10:16 a.m. Casablanca time, which is also European time. And it happens at 4 degrees 51 of Gemini. If you want to know what area that is activating for you, check on your birth chart and see in which house it falls. It should give you a little idea of what's going on for you. So remember, the full moon is the sun and moon that are opposing each other. It's also a cycle that's coming to a head, a time to let go of what we don't need anymore. And it's also a moment of heightened sensitivity. So our emotions are amplified. And in particular for this moon, I would recommend to connect to those emotions at a time where the moon is in a sign related to the mind, to our intellect, and to use these emotions to nurture the creative mind. And I will detail all of this a little bit later, but I thought it was important to announce it at the beginning so that you can follow that thread. So the full moon at 4 degrees 51 of Gemini, I would name that, the theme of that would be reflections, both in terms of mirror, a reflection you see in the mirror, as well as a reflection in the sense of reflect, think, analyze. Yes, use your mind to read situations or read emotions or read relationships. Reminder, Gemini is related to the mind, to thought, to communications, to friendship, and to relation with others. The mantra is I think. And the moon is in this sign, I believe, is inviting us to reflect on the duality that we are experimenting and to pay attention to our interactions with others, as they will be showing us unconscious aspects of ourselves as a mirror. So I recommend to pay attention to how others make you feel in particular, and if you have the presence to just pause whenever someone makes you feel something positive or negative, it doesn't matter, but just pause and acknowledge the feeling and to try and understand, what does that mean for you? Why does that make you feel that way? And I think that would be a great way to take advantage of this moon. And this is the first part of the story, because there's a lot of other things happening in this moon. The second part is the sun. So the sun is in Sagittarius today, and it's conjunct Mars. And I would theme that as divine fire. So let's remind ourselves of what Sagittarius is. Sagittarius is the spiritual aspect of the Trinity of fire. It's the expanded self that it connects to everything and to all. It's really the sign of expansion and the energy of expansion. It's related to freedom, and it's related to truth, to divine truth. So we can see it as the divine fire that expands everywhere to bring light and warmth all around. If you know Sagittarius people, like most certainly you would recognize that quality of, being constantly in expansion, being very warm, being very enthusiastic about many things. And the fire, remember, is also the one that unifies and brings people together. It's also the element that allows us to integrate. So here, in connection to Gemini, as the sun is opposing the moon, I would say it invites us to look at others and the polarities that in the duality that it reflects for us, and to take that as a way to discover the parts of ourselves that we are not seeing, that are not in our consciousness, and to use that as if we're shedding light in a part of us that is not accessible normally. What I'm saying about others is true all the time, obviously. It's not just now that people reflect unconscious parts of yourselves or of ourselves. But this moon puts the spotlight on this in particular. We also have the Mars conjunct the Sun in Sagittarius, and Mars is more fire, is the god of war, and at the same time as it adds to the fire, it's also yes, war energy. So because we're in a full moon and our emotions are heightened, I would recommend to pay attention to your words so that they're not too harsh or harmful, and that your emotions don't just come out bursting into excessive words or behaviors. Sagittarius is also connected to the third eye, and the third eye is the center of discernment. It's the center of distinguishing between the truth and what is not truth, of seeing behind appearances. And I really think that this is helping us as well read those emotions that others are making us feel, and to read them in the truth that they represent for us. What truth that is hidden in us, that it is reflecting to us, and that it is bringing to the light for us. And one last element in this chapter of divine fire, we have Neptune in Pisces that is connecting to the Sun and Mars. And Neptune is, I would say, is bringing the energy of oneness. And Neptune is the god of the seas, of the oceans. So the place where there's an infinite amount of drops, but is at the same time is unique, is just one. It's one body of water that is immensely extended and expansive, but it's still one. And I think it's bringing that idea into the energy of Sagittarius, and the fire, the divine fire that this position of Sun and Mars is activating. At the same time, it can bring illusions. So especially if we're working with the minds and the Mercury, and it has a connection as well to Mercury, it can bring illusions. So this is kind of a sort of a warning to really use your discerning capacities to distinguish when you read those emotions, when you try to analyze them, to take the time to tune in with yourselves to distinguish what is true and what is an elaboration of the mind. I think someone has their microphone open. I don't know how to close that. Can you check? Okay, I think it stopped. Thank you. Okay, the next theme is Saturn, is brought to us by Saturn. And Saturn is in Pisces, not a very comfortable place for Saturn. And it's squaring the Sun, Mars, and the Moon, which means it's bringing tension. Remember, tension is the desire for movement. So sometimes it can be scary, but that's not the point. The point is not to be scared by an aspect, but to understand the true meaning of it. And I would theme that bringing heaven to earth. Why? Let's look first at Saturn. Saturn is the planet of restriction, of limitation, and it's squaring the sun and Mars and the moon as well, can bring a sense of being limited in our actions, in our relations, or in suppressing our emotions. And on the one hand, we have the enthusiasm and the expansion of Sagittarius, that is where the sun and Mars is living at the moment. And on the other hand, we have the restriction and limitation of Saturn. And so it can feel a little bit like hard or constrained to live with. However, we can look at Saturn in a different way. Saturn is the one that allows things to be created. It allows the divine spark or the divine energy or the primordial energy to take form. Without the structures and the patterns and the rules of Saturn, there would be no container for the energy. So I invite you to take it in this aspect here and to look at all the energy that is available to us. And we'll see that there is more primordial energy with other planets located in very specific parts of the sky. And so I invite you to look at that as a great power of manifestation. And remember that Saturn is the spiritual aspect of Earth as well. So it has that great ability to manifest by being very connected to the spirit. So one way to look at it would be to draw from the divine fire of Sagittarius and to mold it and shape it into a new reality for ourselves according to what we decide, according to what we want. And what's helping us shaping that energy into what we desire is the quality of the sky at the moment. There's a lot of mutable energy, and mutable energy lends itself to being shaped up into what we want. And to add to that, to the power of Saturn in Pisces, other thing as well, to add to that, there's also Volcanus that is conjunct Saturn to the degree. As you might understand by Volcanus, this is super fiery. It's the cosmic fire, essentially. It's the force that will disintegrate all the restrictions that prevent us from reaching divine consciousness, but it's also the one that can help us create. Volcanus was how do you say that in English? Was in a forge. So he was creating things with metal. So he was shaping things with metal in the underworld. So he has a great potential energy and a great potential for motion as well. So to sum up that position of Saturn and its connection with another fiery body, or celestial body, is that we can use that to burn the structures that we don't need, that we need to let go of, and forge new ones for the new reality that we want to manifest. Knowing that we have a lot of energy to create and a lot of energy to burn and to transmute. And this is where Pluto comes into play in a beautiful way, as it is number one sitting in Capricorn, which is the sign of rulership of Saturn. So there's a correspondence there. And that is connecting to the moon and to the sun and Mars. And I would name that the energy of transmutation. And remember, Pluto is the guardian of the underworld. It's also called the renewer. So it rules volcanoes, more fire, obviously, and all that what explodes from the depths. So again, we're very connected to going really deep, to check, review, remove, destroy, rebuild as well. And again, it being in Capricorn, it speaks of structures, again, patterns, rules, old patterns in particular, the ones we need to burn and we need to transform, transmute into new ones. And one last bonus bonus energy is Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, which is where the moon is at the moment. And it's conjunct the galactic center. The galactic center is where we receive a lot of energy from. It's the center of the galaxy, and we receive tons of, is the source of energetic particles, gamma rays, infrared, etc. And these particles are meant to open the unconscious mind, which is what we're working as well with today, with the moon being in Gemini. So it can help us release old wounds and trauma and open new paradigms as it's coming really from, let's say, the source itself. So we're receiving additional energy to help move into new realities, new paradigms, new structures, I would say new paradigms. I find it's the best word, sorry. So in summary, there's a lot of subtle and powerful fire in this sky at the moment for this full moon, which connects us to the divine wisdom, the attribute of Sagittarius, remember, where in the trinity of wisdom, will, and love, it's Sagittarius that represents wisdom. And it's a tool to rethink how we see conflict, how we see duality, and to take a different perspective on that from the point of oneness. And this is what we are going to work with during the meditation, to look at the aspects of ourselves from the emotional point of view and to give them new meaning so that we can find our own unity, our own oneness. And what's important to understand, and this is what is being highlighted today, is that the duality and the polarity are only tools to explore our own existence and to get closer to our divine nature. So today we're going to try and take a step back from emotions that are painful, from conflicts that are related to others, and give them their true meaning, let's say, which is to show us something that we need to work with, that we need to transform within, so that we can find our unity again. So we've got a lot of help of the skies as usual, for whoever is ready to do the work, because it is work. And obviously, if you're here, it means you're more than ready, I guess. Any questions? No? Okay.
Yes, Dunya, you were saying mutable energies.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get it, what it means.
Yes, I'm going to explain. There are, in the zodiac, there are fixed signs, cardinal signs, and mutable signs. So the mutable energy comes from the fact that there are many planets in mutable signs. So there are 6 planets in mutable signs at the moment. So that's what it means. And the fact that it's mutable, it's flowy. It means the energy, it's flowy. It's like, it's like water. you can make anything, like put it in a glass, it takes the shape of a glass. You put it in a plate, it takes the shape of a plate. That's what it means.
Amazing. That's the information I was missing. Thanks.
You're welcome. Shall we ask the oracle, the people from Agartha, what they have for us? So what we're going to do today during the meditation is we're going to work with divine fire. On top of everything that I said, which is working with the emotions related to others, etc., we're gonna work with fire as well, because there's so much fire in the sky that I think it would be a shame not to use it. Okay. Here we are. Oh, interesting. Ah, we have love. That's the card that we have today. And let me see. I love the drawing.
Hey, baby. Hey.
Hello, hello. Okay, okay. All mics are off. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Love. Very interesting. Listen to this. The pollution of your world comes from the psychic pollution that covers the consciousness by many veils. The climate, the worries you have with regards to climate need to find a resonance in your own patterns that are within you. The earth that is welcoming us need to be sustained by beings that are beaming light and creative energy. The germs of pollution are interior, are within first. And this is where the human needs to start to work with or tackle. We, the people of the divine nature, guardians of the lakes and the forests, know that to preserve this paradise, we need to educate those who destroy them. The solution resides in love and consciousness that the human needs to open in himself. If you want to help the earth to purify, you need to start with yourself. The essential key is, if you want to help earth, raise your eyes towards the spiritual dimension of your entire being. If you want to help earth, raise your eyes towards the spiritual dimension of your entire being. I like it. Okay. Let's go to the meditation. Make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. And start breathing through your nose. putting your entire attention into your breath. I breathe in and breathe out through the nose. And I let myself be carried by my breath, coming in and out. And I become aware of my body. I'm aware of my posture, the room where I'm sitting, the house or the building that I am in. I'm aware of the city that I'm in and the country. And expanding more, I'm aware of the continent that I find myself in and the planet that I'm in. I'm completely aware of my physical presence in time and space. And I see, imagine, or feel myself in an open field, sitting in front of a fire. I observe that fire and I see the flames dancing in front of me. I see the light it sheds on me and on my surroundings. I hear the crackle of the wood and I feel its warmth on my skin, on my face, and in my entire body. I look at the flames, and once again, I focus on my breath. And with each inhale, I take the light and warmth from that fire, bringing it to my heart. And from my heart, expanding it to my entire body. And with each breath in, I take in warmth and light, given generously by the fire, bringing them to my heart and expanding them to in my entire body, to each and every cell. And when my physical body is full, I expand this light and warmth to my field around me. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I open my eyes to look around me. And I find myself surrounded by many people, standing in a circle around me. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. Some of them I recognize, some of them I don't. I see friends, family, colleagues, or unknown people. And I understand that each of them has come to me in this moment around the fire to reflect one aspect of me that is not accessible to my consciousness. These are all fragments of myself reflected outside of me. I look around and I start to see those next to whom I feel unsafe and fearful. And I understand that they are showing me how to feel joy and find fun in every moment in life. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I look around once again and I see those next to whom I feel uncomfortable, insecure, or nervous. And I understand that they are showing me how to feel comfortable, calm, serene in my axis. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I look around once again and I see those next to whom I feel frustrated, those who make me feel that I am not enough. And I understand that they are teaching me how to recognize my own achievements and see myself as the product of evolution. They are teaching me that I bear in me my own achievements as well as those of all my ancestors. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I look around once again and I see those close to whom I feel shameful or inappropriate. And I understand that they are showing me to find pleasure in what I do and how I do it. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I look around once again And I see those who judge me and my actions because they don't conform to a certain norm. And I understand that they are teaching me how to act on my passion, to express my creativity, enjoying and falling in love with each act that I take. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I look around once again. And I see those with whom I entertain a cold or even a conflictual relationship. And I understand that they are teaching me how to create and harmonious interactions and relationships with others. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And once more, I look around and I see those who won't accept me for who I am. Those with whom I don't feel free to express my true nature. And I understand that they are teaching me unconditional love towards myself and towards others. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And once more, I look around. And I see those next to whom I don't feel understood in my feelings or in my circumstances. And I realize that they are teaching me to connect with my own feelings, teaching me empathy towards myself and towards others. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Once more, I look around and I see those who show contempt and dislike towards my words or my behavior. And I realize that they are teaching me to find interest in discovering the truth of others as a way to learn and increase my knowledge. They are showing me that sharing my own truth is useful for others to learn and expand. I take a deep breath in And a deep breath out. Once more, I look around and I see those who meet me, my words and my actions, with preconceptions. And I understand that they are showing me how to stay with my eyes open, ready to feel amazed by the others and their uniqueness. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I look around once more and see those who meet me with the eyes of envy. And I understand they are teaching me to admire and let myself be inspired by the achievements of others. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I look around once more and I see those next to whom I feel disempowered, anxious and belittled. And I understand that they are teaching me to connect to the infinite power of the universe and feel the ecstasy of being part of the divine. I take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I look around once more and I see that there is no one left around the fire but me. I thank each and every one of those who showed up today, those who came to show me unresolved aspects of myself that I could not see and that they have brought to my awareness. I understand that each aspect that I hadn't seen, each conflict, is an opportunity to expand the fire within. And that duality is a tool to reach a higher level of consciousness. I am the fire that brings light to consciousness. I am the fire that burns what no longer serves my evolution. I am the fire that takes the old and transmutes it to create the new. I am the fire that shows the way in the path of consciousness. I am the fire that brings all my parts together as one. I am divine fire I am expansion. I am. And I expand and activate with the sound ah. 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 I am divine fire. I am expansion. I am. I take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, coming back here and now, moving my body, massaging all my body from head to toe, my toes to my head, anchoring that information into my cells and into my entire body. And when I'm ready, I come back here and now and open my eyes. Thank you very much for being here once again. And I will see you at the next moon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.